Born and raised. I love it. It's a beautiful city, beautiful people. You guys came up here to do this thing, so here you are. Welcome to Oakland.
Wherever I go, I come back to the O, 'cause you know my home's Oakland, baby. Where you from the O?
The graffiti scene in Oakland right now, this is 2012, it's cracking. It's at an all-time high of murals, pieces, and also of getting bombed. And I think part of that's a result of the economy, where maybe the city can't buff it as fast, but it's also an influx of artists from like leaving places like San Francisco where they can no longer afford to live.
Graffiti is a life force in a city that says to every citizen, I'm alive, the city's alive. And a city without graffiti would be like a field without flowers.
My main job is painting over graffiti. Some is probably art. I would think that some graffiti's art, but you have to get this level of notoriety, I guess, before you could cash your check on your shirts and all your hoodies and all your stuff, that your shoes, your fanny packs, because you're not getting paid if you tag up a side of a building. I just paint over it. I painted over 10,000 square feet today, me and this other dude. I've got pictures of me next to some pretty crazy stuff, like a Bart Simpson. There's a guy that looks like the Iron Maiden guy with no head. That dude with the brain, he's around. There's an octopus face guy. I don't know if you see him around.
The character is a mask, and it represents a double identity. The mask was supposed to be a fuck you to authority figures. I associate masks with the freedom of speech because it's the only time you can speak freely without being persecuted. And so I will never take mine off. I write GATS, G-A-T-S. This stands for Graffiti Against The System. I write my name on walls. I draw a character. I've been doing graffiti my whole life.
I refer to GATS's work, like I refer to Michelangelo's work, as a foundational artist who teaches us about seeing the world in a different way and inspires us to ask questions to ourselves. My name is Greg Niemeyer. I'm a professor of new media at the University of California at Berkeley, and I teach cybercultures. When I came to Berkeley, I noticed that people have something that they didn't have in other places I was working at before. They had facial expressions, and the artwork itself, the graffiti, was also full of facial expressions. I noticed GATS's work with these faces that sort of smile at me or glance at me and say, what are you up to today? What do you have to offer? You know, what have you done lately? And the faces challenged me, and that was a welcoming challenge, a challenge that made me awake.
Sometimes if I'm having a bad day, I look at his shit and I'm like, dude, you know, I feel like that sometimes. I feel like shit's just all over me, you know? And then sometimes you see your shit and it's like smiling and it's like, you know, I feel good right now, I'm smiling, you know? And it's not like a fucking throw up that some jackass from fucking the suburbs learned how to do graffiti and starts writing on everyone's shit and starts doing throw ups that have no fucking meaning, you know? This kid is like, there's some solid shit behind that, you know?
It definitely captures, you know, people's imagination, you know what I'm saying? It's a powerful image. When me and him work together, our images definitely capture the people. GATS is popular in Oakland because he's up everywhere, you know.
There's something almost mythical about the stone head of GATS chipping away as if it's been there for 1,000 years and we'll be here when we're long gone.
Probably the thing I like the most about his character is all the little details he puts around the face, and he uses thick, dark lines, which I really like and I use in my faces. So he's helped create my style. I think the more and more I started seeing his work around, it kind of made me want to get up and start drawing more. He inspires me a lot.
GATS is one of my best friends. I never honestly before I really met him, I never considered myself an artist. He gave me the confidence to realize that it's just about doing it. Take it to that fuck it level and let's see where this shit lands. Just gave me a whole new way to look at things.
When Miguel asked me what I wanted out of graffiti, it blew my mind because it was a question that I had never asked myself. I started to realize that it's not art or vandalism, it's art because it is vandalism. And the vandalism puts the artwork into context of how important it is, and it gives meaning to it. Graffiti is beautiful.
I come at art from kind of a different place than he does. I want a dramatic change in the way people think and interact. And if it happens to be beautiful, that's great. But when we collaborate on things, I think you get this kind of amazing compound of those two things, like a Vicodin or something like that, or a crack, where it's each of those things on their own don't have nearly the effect that they would together.
I'm always trying to push it in new and different directions to challenge myself. And so to break out of writing the same 4 letters over and over or repeating the same character, I brought Miguel in on it because he's a lyricist and musician that I really respect. I also liked the idea of collaborating with another person, so it becomes a team effort, more about what a underrepresented group is trying to say. I can't think of a way that is a more direct way to speak to people than writing it on a wall.
We need to make the streets a conversation, which means that we have to be writing the things that we believe on everything. We have to take it to the same place that the ads are, which is fucking everywhere. Newport can tell me to fucking smoke all fucking day, and I can't say prosecute the cop that killed this kid?
Billboards and even legal murals don't communicate in the same way that graffiti communicates. The vast majority of individuals don't have the power to put up a billboard. And so by writing on a wall, it's almost like that person's on my team. We did that. They're speaking to me because it's on the same level as me. Graffiti is the only medium that's completely uncensored. In California, graffiti is a felony.
If you go out there and you write your name on shit, you're a fucking criminal. It doesn't seem like a coincidence that you can't voice your opinion without going to jail. It's inevitable that people are going to try to reclaim some of the space in their own environment.
Next time on Voice of Art.
Let him go! What the fuck?
Protecting the people. They honestly believe that.
Elected officials are pretty much puppets, and the puppet masters are the ruling class, are the 1%.
This is our home. This is our place, and we're taking it back.